Hey y'all, I'm Fantasia. Welcome to my channel Sewing with Tay, where I do sewing tutorials, sewing long, sewing projects. I like to talk about my hair. I'm about 1 year into my mini lock journey, boy mom life, fashion life. I'm a technical designer, tech design life. If any of that is your cup of tea, hit the like button and notification bell so you know when I'm making new videos. Today I am talking about a fashion show. I did a fashion show. And if you've been following me for a while, I know I told y'all I'm not doing a bunch of fashion shows. But I did another fashion show, and it was a little bit of a bigger show. So that was my excuse on, okay, I'm going to do this fashion show. So I'm looking at my notes. I'm located in Columbus, Ohio. And we just finished Columbus Fashion Week this past week. It consists of a bunch of fashion shows over the course of a week, a typical fashion week. If you didn't know that, Columbus is the third, fashion city in the United States, probably because of so many home offices are here, like Lane Bryant, Express, Abercrombie. Eloquy I think used to be here, but it's not anymore. So I think that's why we're number 3 in the United States. But so we have Bake Columbus Fashion Week. It's a week worth of events, and we have things from like a high fashion tea party. There was collaborations between Macy's and Columbus Fashion Week and Nordstrom and Columbus Fashion Week. They have a recycle runway where you can only use recycled goods to make garments. Those runways are super fun. And they have a curve show, so they had their first premiere plus size fashion runway show, and then they have their finale runway show, which was this past Saturday, and to wrap up the week. So I actually had the opportunity to be a part of the curve fashion show, which I was super excited about. There were 50 plus size models, which is actually more plus size models that were in the entire New York Fashion Week. So kudos to the team here for finding 50 plus size models, agency and non-agency girls to come and walk for us designers. I decided to do an evening wear bridal collection because I have been wanting to do something different. Evening wear and bridal is kind of my passion. It's something that I like to do, I'm very interested in, but I don't spend a lot of time actually doing it. And earlier this year I did a prom dress for someone, and someone that I know was just like, I didn't even know you knew how to make things like this. And I was just like, clutch my pearls, this is the stuff I want to do. I want to get more orders like this, but I don't because people don't know that I make them. So I thought when I got the opportunity to do this plus size show that this is an opportunity for me to showcase my skills and potentially get new clients. And also to add to that, I really like bridal. I like the details and the fine pieces that go to making evening wear dresses, but another piece of motivation for me was my experience as a plus size bride. I wanted that traditional walk into the bridal shop and pulling out the red carpet and you can look at the dresses and try a bunch of things on. But as a plus size person getting married about 7 years ago, that wasn't a huge option with the stores that I had locally to me. And at that point I wasn't really willing to travel to buy a dress because there's supposedly a big bridal area in Cincinnati, Ohio that has plus size shops, but I did not want to go to Cincinnati. I just wanted to go to shops here where my family could come, etc. So my experience in trying on a plus size bridal dresses, there were very few. I even had one bridal boutique tell me you can hold the dress up to you and visualize this $1,000 purchase without actually being able to put it on my body. And I was just like, that's not what I wanted. I did end up finding a dress from a plus size shop that had a couple more options, but it was not the experience that I wanted to have as a plus size bride. So I thought this plus size curvy runway would be a great opportunity for me to test my skills in making plus size bridal wear and evening wear. So I decided to do a bridal collection, and it's not just bridal gowns, it's the bridal experience. So from like your engagement party to your rehearsal dinner to the big day, that's kind of was my thought process in developing this collection. I ended up doing 8 pieces in about 3.5 weeks. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. And I had 8 models, of course. 5 of my 8 models were from out of state, which meant that I could not fit my garments on a person, on a body, until the week of the show. So I ended up having 2 models canceled that ended up being replaced with someone local, which was amazing. And then I ended up fitting 2 days before the show with one model, the day before the show with another model, and the third model I fit her the day of the show. Thankfully, they sent their measurements. They were agency girls, so they're probably used to taking their own body measurements. And then I was able to make small adjustments the day of. Most of them, the garments fit pretty good because their measurements were pretty spot on, so thank God for that. And I was able to get everything kind of wrapped up and ready by the call time, which was 1 o'clock, but it's usually like 2 o'clock for me. I don't feel like I need to be there at 1 o'clock because I'm not in hair and makeup. So I got there about 2 o'clock for like a rehearsal and to see the walkthrough of the venue. It was at this place called the Urban Art Space. So it was really nice. It had like artwork up on the wall, and the runway was kind of built into the floor plan. My original design inspiration was Blue Willow, like fine china. There's this dress that I love. I've had it saved on my Pinterest board for at least 15 years. And there's a dress, and the underskirt of the dress has this like textured print, and it's like a pop of blue or something. And it always reminded me of like the fine china plates. So I thought like, oh, I really like that. I've always liked that. Like, let's start there. But I had 3.5 weeks to kind of pull this together. Columbus, Ohio does not have fabric stores that you could walk into and like see, feel, touch, see, you know, bridal fabrics or any fabrics for that matter. We only have like a Joann's, and they do have some Badgley Miska like specialty things, but they don't have a ton of like actual fabrics, I guess, that you would really want to use. So I ended up ordering a lot of fabric, which ate up a lot of my time. This is before my 3 weeks of actually cut and make. I ordered my fabrics earlier on, but I didn't have my models yet, so it became difficult once I did get my models, and I realized how much more fabric I was going to need. I didn't have time to order more fabric, so then I had to make do with what I could from Joann's fabrics. But that was the inspiration, and when I realized I wasn't finding online or locally, and I was in New York one day, you know, for half a day, and I like took a lap around, you know, Manhattan trying to find some fabric, and I couldn't really find what I was looking for. I kind of gave up on the notion of doing that inspiration, but then I decided that I was going to just do textures because I do love textures. One of the things that I really like about different types of fabrications, and the Blue Willow like plate to me is like the print pops off the white, which gives that kind of texture. So I decided to kind of go with that. So I ended up going with embroidered fabrics, embossed fabrics, and like matte satins where the prints and the embroideries can kind of bounce off of that like solid base. So that's what I ended up doing as far as my inspiration and my fabrics. And again, I kind of spoke to how I was thinking experience based for the bridal experience. So like engagement party dress, bridal shower dress, you know, engagement party dress, strapless dress, or a dress with, you know, sleeveless. So I kind of formulated my collection around those things. I was running around crazy pulling everything together, you know, the day of. This show was on a Friday, so I had to take off of work. I still had to get my kids from school, so it was a lot of pieces going on during this prep for this show, but it all came together so nice. I'm like, sometimes I'm shocked at myself, like it came out really nice, and I'm like, how did I do it? Because work, I'm a technical designer by day, and work was just like a peak time for us, so it was extremely heavy load to lift, but some kind of way I got it done, y'all. So without further ado, I'm gonna flip it over so you guys can watch the runway, and then we can talk through some of the pieces and what my thought process was behind them. I'm still waiting on like official images from one of the photographers. Actually, one of my favorite photographers was there, so I'm hoping she got some really good pictures. I was the show opener, so the collection was mostly whites, ivories, kind of a tonal gold color, and I don't think the lighting on the runway was prepared for a white collection, because I feel like some of the pictures are really like blown out, but neither here nor there. So this first look is actually one of my favorites. I've done this before for a different runway show, just very casually, like in one of my African print cotton fabrics, but I decided to do it again. This model was a lot bustier than my previous models, so I did close up the front, because in the previous one it kind of just went straight down to like a V. She was a little bit bustier, so I closed it up, but it still is very, very cute. I thought this dress would be great for like engagement party, bridal shower, like rehearsal dinner. I thought this dress fit all the key milestones of a bride. This next look, I wanted it to be more dramatic than what it was. I wanted the back of the dress to be a lot longer so that you could see through the front of the skirt through to the back of the skirt. The underlayer of that skirt has a textured embossed fabric that I was hoping you would be able to see as she was walking, but that high-low skirt, and it just took so much fabric, and I just kept running out of fabric, and I was like, I'm spending so much money. I had a budget. I'm like way over budget, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to make do. The fabric on the outside was shinier than I wanted it to be, but I think it still came together really nicely. So to give it some like pizzazz. I didn't want it to just be a plain white satin dress. I cut out some embroidered mesh and I stitched on the flowers along the waistline, but I allowed the bottom of the flowers to be free, so as she walked they might have fluttered a little, which gave it something a little bit interesting if the embossed fabric underneath the skirt was not noticeable. Number 3 is one of my absolute favorites. This one, this bodice I thought was super cute. I had been seeing it around for a while and I had been wanting to try it out, so I'm like, now is a better time to do it. The skirt was so full. I'm not even going to act like I knew this, but the skirt is a 720 skirt. I didn't never heard of a 720 skirt until I like Googled something, but it's a 720 skirt. But to me, in my head, this was a double full circle skirt. So I cut out 2 full circles and put them together. So if your waist is 20 and you were to make a full circle skirt, you use the radius of a circle for 20 to make your circle skirt. Well, basically I cut her waist in half and made it 10, and then cut out 2 full circle skirts so that the waist measurement would be right, but I would get double or 4 times the sweep to get a lot of coning, so it came out very nice. I ended up using like some hard net underneath there to help it stand out more, and then I used horsehair along the edge. And again, with the horsehair, I was running out. I bought 6 yards of horsehair and I ran out. I was like, okay, I need more yards of horsehair. So at the end of the day, it came out better than I can imagine. Like, this is definitely one of my top choices out of the whole entire collection. And for me, this could be a courthouse wedding, this could be like a chapel wedding, this could be rehearsal dinner. Like, there's so many options with this dress. The next dress is a cotton lace. I saw something recently, some dress somewhere that had a cotton, it looked like a cotton lace and it had this like hard texture there. I really liked it. This fabric, I had searched and searched and searched for something even remotely similar to this dress that I saw. I'm like, I love this fabric so much, I want to make a dress like this. And the dress was really full, and I'm like, I really want this big like ballroom dress. Well, I found this fabric, I ordered it, it came from China. Once I finally got my model and her measurements, I did not have nearly enough fabric for as big as I wanted it to be. So I had to cut my losses because I couldn't afford to buy more fabric and I didn't have time to have more fabric shipped. So this is how it turned out. It still is a very great dress. I feel like it's very classic. It's also a little bit more on the modest size. Because of the lace, it kind of makes it seem a little more prim and proper. So I thought that was really cool. I added the lace trim along the neckline to give it some more detail. It has a corset back because my models were going to be meeting me last minute, so I wanted options that I wouldn't have to do too many alterations. Because this lace, I made the bodice and the skirt and then I top applied this corset lace onto it, so I had to sew it onto the bodice. So if I needed to do alterations, I was going to have to take the lace off, do the alterations, cut the lace so that it fit, and I didn't want to do that. So the corset really helped me not have to do as many alterations come fitting time. The next dress is this jumpsuit. This jumpsuit was a secret sleeper because I thought, like, I just want a jumpsuit, you know, reception outfit, rehearsal dinner, bridal shower, like casual, like meet the family as they're arriving jumpsuit. But this one, she zipped this jumpsuit and I was like, beautiful. Like, the pleats on the pants, it was so good. So good. I was just, I did not expect to be that moved by the jumpsuit. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm gonna throw a jumpsuit in here because who doesn't want a good jumpsuit? It's amazing. And she was telling me that she felt like this jumpsuit, even outside of the bridal experience, could be used for like everyday occasions. It's like a cream warm ivory color. It was so good. And I'm like, okay, I wanted something dramatic again with the fabric. This fabric I did order, I think it shipped all the way from Australia. Why? I don't know. I couldn't find it anywhere locally that I could order, or not locally, in the US that I could order. So it shipped all the way from Australia. And of course it gets here and I'm like, I wish I would have bought more, but it took so long to arrive. I was scared that it wasn't going to make it. I wanted this like overpiece to be much fuller to give like wedding vibes, but I just didn't have enough fabric. And I was like, I couldn't. By the time I got to this outfit, I was just like, guys, I just got to get this sewing done. I'm so tired. So I added a little ruffle on the end because I knew she was on the taller side, and the ruffle made the length perfect. And it was great. Like, I had no complaints. This, and I like cut off the edge of the lace for the sleeves to give her some like dainty feminine characteristics. So the jumpsuit ended up being, you know, right up there with the corset like flutter skirt. This next one is a dress that I have made before, not in plus size. It's just a little ruffle top dress, and again, I wanted the ruffle to be bigger. I just need to order double the fabric next time. I don't know what I was thinking when I was trying to budget and do this, but I had just enough fabric to make the dress with the ruffle. So I wish I might have ordered another like bundle of fabric. This here is kind of like an African print fabric. So it came in a yard of like 5.5 something or 6 yards. So I couldn't just buy like an extra yard. I would have to buy a whole another bundle of 5. And at the time I didn't think that was necessary. But again, this dress came out very pretty. It has like those flecks of gold and ivory, and it did not have stretch, so I had to fit it to her body. But again, she was very good at sending her measurements, so this dress zipped right up. It was a little snug in the hip, so I did let it out just a smidge, but otherwise perfect. And the ruffle on the neck around the sleeve around to the back is doing exactly what I wanted it to. Like, this is like top 4 for me. And then my last dress, this dress was supposed to be like my key thing. I wanted that full skirt. I wanted that texture from the top of the dress into the ruffle on the bottom, and I feel like everything here really executed the way I wanted it to. So I was super excited about this. So this one is like number 3. I don't know if I have a 3 yet. This might be 3, number 2, up there with the jumpsuit and the circle skirt. My top 4 of these. And I normally don't have like a top 4. Like, when I have a collection, I love everything, and usually things are all kind of sitting kind of at the same level, but for some reason those 4 really, like, when I seen it on a model, I was like, yo, you made a really pretty dress. So I was super excited about these 4 pieces. I realized I forgot a dress. So my last dress, this one was a last minute addition. I wasn't planning on doing this dress, but then I felt like everything was very covered. Everything was like very full, and I wanted something with a little bit more sex appeal to it. This was supposed to be a little bit lower V in the high split with the lace sleeve, but my model canceled last minute. So when she canceled last minute, I'm like, okay, like, let's figure something else out. So when I found this model who was local, I was like, cool, we have a couple more days, like 2 days, to figure this out before the show. This here, I did really enjoy this dress. I felt like the leaves and things made it really feminine. I like the sheerness of it. I like the gathering on the skirt. I just wish I had more time to really execute it the way I really wanted to, or I should have went back to my original idea, which was going to be a short kind of balloon sleeve dress, which you guys have seen me make before, but in the same kind of mock-up of this lace and satin underneath. So that is my 8th look. Like, it really made me feel like I pushed myself to a new boundary. I did put a lot of extra work on me, like, okay, let's see how well you can do this, and it just turned out so well. Everyone loved the show. I got really good remarks and reviews. I'm still scouring the internet for like any other pictures that people took at the show. I did actually get the live video, which I showed you guys previously, which I don't always get when I'm doing fashion shows. So I was super excited. This was my first experience with Columbus Fashion Week. This is the premiere curve show, so I would definitely do it again, but I'm still thinking about going back to, I'm not doing a bunch of fashion shows because it costs a ton of money. So I gotta sell these dresses to make some of my money back. But otherwise, it was such a great experience. That's why I haven't been here, because I've been working on that and trying to figure that out. But if you enjoyed that, please leave me a comment, give me some feedback below, tell me where you think these dresses could be worn to. I appreciate you guys for staying here this long. If you you know, if this is your cup of tea, again, hit the notification bell and the like button so you know when I'm making new videos. If you have any questions or want me to do a follow-up video, I'm here. But until next time, bye.